Okay, so it's recording. And I have your Wismore Biz as a tab.
Okay.
Okay.
But you have to make another click here to this to end it, you understand?
To end what?
You've saved it?
Yeah, it's saved. See, that's 7:29, 1 p.m. I've saved it already.
Put in the path, you understand? Like edit, copy, file, save as. Please don't scream. Then you take the path, copy it to the clipboard buffer. Do you hear me talk?
Yeah, put it in the front.
Insert it at the beginning.
Okay.
Move it away a little so I can see a little better what I'm doing.
Right.
You have to position the cursor at the beginning and then paste, then put in a backslash, and then focus on it again to review. Then this one, copy, and save again. You don't need to repeat it. It's perfect. And then paste, edit, paste with the path, you understand?
Yeah.
Then make a couple of spaces and file save again.
Okay.
Then turn on Pessar. Where's Pessar?
Right here.
Thank you for it.
Start recording.
You want to make sure that you set it up to 999. Can you type 9999? Then okay. Then start.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have to get online.
And let's put the camera in.
Can you put another camera that this doesn't cut off my face?
Yeah, I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use the one above this, the 360. So there's nothing to do with the other camera. So you use the default camera.
I don't want to do the default camera because it's too high.
This one. Or you can use the next one, which you can adjust. You understand?
Yeah. Can you move this down, or this can't be moved down?
You mean make it disappear?
No, move this down so it gets my face.
No, the other one, the adjacent one.
No, but can't you move this so I can see with this? Why not? Why?
See if this works too.
Which one is that using?
This is also the same camera. You don't see that it is 360?
Yeah. Okay.
Now I want to stop and save as Pissar, you understand? So far it was in...
Yeah, but I have to get online and it's 12:58. You always...
You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, but it takes me more than 2 minutes to get arranged. You always do everything at the last minute. I'm sorry. I like to be on time, not like you.
Please don't scream.
I like to be on time.
See that you changed the...
Yeah, you don't have even the same.
Please don't scream. Now we can see how many screens that was. 8. Start a new one.
It's already at 12:59. I have to be online.
Edit, paste. Please don't scream. Save, okay. Can you be online? Do whatever you want. I'm going out to take the ring.
Hi,
Hi, do you see me? Hear me?
I see you.
I
Yes. How are
see
you?
you too. Fine. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
Okay, I met you when in the Hack Biz, you gave a presentation for
Oh,
Miami, and I
oh,
thought you did an awesome job. So I just
thank
wanted
you.
to meet with you and see how we can work together. One
No,
of
I appreciate that. Glad you enjoyed it.
Well, one of
It's
the things I really enjoyed, and you're one of the few people that do it, is actually get jump in the water and actually show a real demo. And basically, I think that is so valuable. Where other people are just doing slides and talking in generalities, you really go in. I think that it really gets the audience involved and it
mm,
gives you a lot of credibility. So I thank you for that. And it was great. You
I
took the architect, and she even got additional leads and making it a sense of a community.
that's awesome, and I like when I have the ability to do that, where I don't have to just sit and present, but I can give something tangible. And I know Angie was super helpful, like dropping the prompts in the
Yes.
chat so people could follow
Yeah,
along.
because that's what people want. After a while,
Yeah,
everybody, there's no one that doesn't use Chat GPT, but what do I do with it to get an end product was
exactly.
invaluable. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself and talk about ways in which we can work together.
Love
I'm,
it.
I'm Sarah Rushinick, and I wear many different hats, but I'm a professor of business technology and health informatics at the University of Miami. I'm
Okay.
also inducted to the Women in Tech and Hall of Fame, and I've done a lot of things for a number of mentorships and things like that. What I do is I also work with the business community, and what they come to me for is giving them the heads up of how they can use technology, not for technology's sake, but to actually find solutions to their problems.
Hmm.
Many times they come to me and they want me to give them additional advice and go down in the weeds with them, and I just don't have the time. So what I like to do is to pass that business over to people like you, that
Yeah.
you
That
and I do also international conferences. I do national conferences. Next week I'm going to artificial intelligence. I'm a speaker in there in Las Vegas and a number of other things. I'm
right.
also the advisor for the city of Coral Gables. The University of Miami is located in Coral Gables. I don't know if you're familiar with that
I
city.
know I used to work actually right there. I'm in Orlando now, but I lived in Miami for about 3 years, and I used to work for Interval International,
I
which is
know
like
Interval. I had
big
students
thing.
there. Right, right. They
I
were
used to work there for a
right.
while.
Yes. Okay, great. So you know it. So
Hmm.
I'm the
I had
advisor.
interns from the University of Miami
Miami,
from
right, great. And then basically what I have now is I'm the advisor, the tech advisor for the city of Coral Gables, that they are
Mhm.
trying to be the smart city. So they're always asking me for other people to help them. So that's
That's
also a
awesome.
possibility. And I'm also next semester teaching online at the University of Miami. And what I do for my students is I say that you got to be able to know AI inside and out. And what they
Hmm.
do for their class projects is they're AI consultants in a different, and they set up companies in a different sector. So sometimes some of them are based on their background: finance, marketing, healthcare. And I thought your presentation would be excellent for them, that they could add that to the project. What we do is we have a number of companies that add to their project. For instance, Wix. Have you heard of Wix?
Yeah.
Basically, Wix, I have an academic partnership with them. So for my students, what they get is they get an advanced version of Wix where they get a free domain name, so it doesn't look like their domain name has Wix in it. So they get a
Yeah.
free domain name. They're upgraded. They also get their apps. They bought another company. They have apps. They come in and they get certified with their development. So they're basically, their project starts with, what I wanted them to do is their project to start with their marketing plan, right?
Mm.
Then I have a company from England called Fastbots. And Fastbots, what they do is they install then a chatbot, and then they get to use their advanced chatbot. So basically on their site, they can have a chatbot that they talk about their company. And then we also have what they call basically an intelligent caller ID, which is AI driven, where you can get a virtual number, like your regular phone number is a dumb number. You can't attach a learning model to it. But for instance, if you dial, for instance, have you ever dialed 1-800-CHAT-GPT?
No, I have not.
What do you think you would get on that other side if you
I
dialed them?
have no idea what I would get from that.
You get ChatGPT. Just like you get ChatGPT now, you're getting it in voice. You can do it on a smartphone. You can do it on.
I did not know that. See, now you're teaching me.
See.
I should know that.
Okay, so try it even now. Go to your phone and just dial it.
And I use ChatGPT on my phone
Yeah,
all the time.
right. So instead, you can just call it. Yeah. You can put it on speakerphone. So go to your keypad and you see where 1-800.
Let's see. If I get that the right number.
So what number did you dial?
No, a conversation may be reviewed for safety. By continuing this call, you agree to OpenAI's terms and privacy policy. So, how can I help you?
Tell
That's
me
all?
and ask her about 1-800-CHAT-GPT. You can, and it does the exact same thing. So basically, a lot of times that's the beauty that we can teach each other. You taught me things, and I'm so happy that I can do it. So the students, what we do is there's a site called VAPI, which stands for basically Voice API. You know what an API is?
Yeah.
So this is Voice API, where these are companies where you can get a phone number that you can attach your own LLM to it.
Okay.
So basically, for your coaching, what do you call yourself? Lita's coaching.
Lita coaching. Yeah.
Lita coaching. You don't want people to get your direct number and spam you. You know, it's basically people trying to sell you stuff rather than you selling them. Mm-hmm. So what you have is then you can get a number, and your number then, and what we're doing too is vanity numbers, just like 1-800-CHAT-GPT. For instance, I have my phone number is the Psych AI. So I'm looking at healthcare and therapy to it. People can call, and then you can train, by prompting, you can train them to answer your calls. So
yeah,
basically,
that's definitely something I could use with like group participants or somebody that wants in between sessions.
Right, in between sessions, they can answer your questions, and then what you could train it to be is answering your questions, and when it doesn't know what's the problem with a lot of the chat GPTs and others, they try to be so accommodating that they answers questions many times incorrectly. So what we can train, what we're working on is training to say, I don't know, but let me get someone on the line that can help. And they basically could contact you, and then you could get onto the group call, and then let's say they say, well, how much does he charge for, coaching? Let's say, I'm just making it up. And then you could get on and you say, oh, I charge $200 an hour, right? Yeah. And at that point, then it would learn and then add it to its own base. Or when we ask you to come as a guest speaker, do we have to pay you for your travel? What do you charge? Or whatever it is, then you can then add to it. So my students then get phone numbers, and then basically on the website, you call us, and they could even have like a virtual number, and then you could and then they could, instead of you promoting ChatGPT, you're promoting, Lita's coaching.
What's that service called again? You said
it's called VAPI, V-A-P-I. I can show it to you one time. And what I'll do is, when I show it to you, I teach online. You can come into my session when I'm teaching it, and you'll be, you can come in and you can listen. And what I wanted you to do is come into my session and show how you're doing the marketing. And the students then can do their marketing plan based on your script.
Yeah, I can 100% do that, and I'd be happy to.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Make whatever edits need to be made to make it more specific to them as well.
Yeah, well, we can do the same thing like we did with in theirs. We can I'll pick out the best student group, and they say they're, and they give themselves names. We help wealth managers, we help marketing, small business and marketing. They're very specific, and they need to be, and then they also show a number of tools. They'll show like how to use, they'll do on their website. Have you ever used Google Notebook LM?
Not as much as I should. I started doing it a little bit, but I haven't had much use for it yet.
Okay, but anyways, they do Notebook LM. What's wonderful, they do a podcast. Have you ever listened? And so they do the podcast there. They do the mapping. I'm just showing you a number. We have a short period of time together, right? But I'm just showing you what we're doing, and I'd love to, when I go over some of these, you're welcome to come in. I'm doing my classes next semester online. It's on Mondays and Wednesdays. I have 2 sections. One starts from 3:30 to like 4:45, and the other one starts from 5 to 6:15. They're back to back. So what you could do is maybe you could come into the second half of the first class and then continue in the first half, or take a break, whatever you'd like to do, and then we could then perform. Like I'm doing a conference for Smart Cities Expo, and I'm doing it with the city of Coral Gables, showing how they can use, what I talked about, the VAPI, they can use computer vision. Even it would be great, I don't even know, you could even show, I don't know if you wanted to come, it's in October 7th and 8th. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring one of the companies that does that intelligent caller ID. They're going to be there as part of my panel. So I have a number of different ones. I'm doing another one in October as well for some bankers that are doing wealth management, and they wanted to know how they can use it for their marketing ideas. But we can later on decide, where it would fit when you have time and things like that. But I just wanted to give you an overall. I wear a number of different hats. I also work for you
stay busy.
Yeah, in the medical school too, and I help the physicians use AI and looking at how they can use technology and AI and bring their research into product. And
that's super exciting. I think that's such an exciting field.
Yeah, no, and it's needed, right? And then you can really get it to do, in oncology, basically to read scans and do a number of different things.
Well, let me just give you a little more background, because I know you don't know that much about me.
I don't, and it's funny. Well, at least I know you work for Interval, and I know a number of people that use it. We probably know some of the same people, but anyways, go ahead.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since I lived
right.
I worked in marketing for over 25 years.
Wow.
And I started here in Orlando for hospitality companies. I worked for brands here. And then I moved to Miami, and I started working at Interval, so still within hospitality and travel.
And you were in the marketing department there, or where?
Yeah, marketing
Okay.
department. And then some of my previous managers, they started their own company. They started an agency, a boutique agency. So I was one of the first full-time employees that they had. So it was like a boutique startup agency, and I was with them for about 8 years, maybe.
Wow. In Miami, or you worked virtually, or?
Huh?
Was it in Miami?
They're in Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale, okay, yeah, Miami.
I moved back to Orlando, so I would travel down there
Okay.
every 6 weeks and meet with clients, meet with the team, my team. But a startup agency, it was a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I got to be, being part of the management team and doing resource planning and being at 60 hours a week every week. I was like, okay, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah.
great experience. But that's when I decided to start my own consultancy. So I have my own marketing consultancy, and from there it kind of naturally progressed to coaching because being in
Yeah.
marketing, so many business models, so many different
Right.
industries, managing $1 million budgets and the operations of it all, kind of touching every side of that.
Uh-huh.
It's just it was really exciting to be able to look at the whole picture and not just a marketing piece. You could get all the pieces around it to function, so the marketing piece would work better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at now. That's why I went into coaching.
And
That's
how long ago did you start that?
about 6 years. I've been coaching about 6 years now. Yeah.
So what are your challenges there?
My challenges in coaching,
Uh-huh.
all the same challenges that I help my clients with.
Yeah.
It's always
You're the shoemaker without shoes. I know. It's hard.
right, exactly, yeah. And it's always lead generation. It's
Right.
always
Mm-hmm.
keeping on, and it's another thing I use AI for a lot is just keeping on top with trends and keeping on top with best business practices. And
Mm-hmm.
you have like a million newsletters and blogs posts you need to get through every day.
Right.
Super handy for that and summarizing everything and focusing on what's important for me.
Uh-huh. And then you can basically eat your own dog food, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. But it's rewarding. I love
Uh-huh.
doing
Okay.
it.
You did
I do a
a
lot of
tremendous job. I'm very critical, I must
Okay,
admit.
that's good to know.
And I ended up telling my husband, he's in the business as well, and I said, you had to see this woman. She was so great in the way that she actually, you know, basically did a demo without rehearsal. They threw her out a person, and then she actually became so helpful that other people. I thought it was fabulous when somebody else said, "Oh, I have a job for you. Somebody's looking for an architect." That you did such a good job in basically defining what she's looking for. That you saw that it was and it
It's like great insights because really, ChatGPT really discovered a niche for her that she hadn't thought about.
right.
So I hope she really caught on
No,
to
no, she
that.
did. And then I thought it was great too when somebody said, "Well, does it listen to you?" And she goes, "I hope it listens to me because somebody got my name from ChatGPT." So I think that was no. I thought that, and it also gets people. Even when you take one real person from the audience and do it, everybody becomes involved because they think about their own problem too.
But it's not just theoretical anymore.
Right. It's not another, nobody wants to ever see another, I tell people, nobody ever wants to see another PowerPoint slide. Oh, I wish you would have showed another slide, but you really got it. Did you get any business from that?
No, no.
But it comes back. But
It's
it's
funny
human.
because
What?
during the presentation, I skipped all the slides. I had slides I was supposed to go through to kind of set up the whole demo, but I was like, "Oh, let's do the demo because that's the most fun."
But it is. My advice to you, and I've given advice many times, is maybe one slide of where they can get a hold of you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
one slide
there's
in the
another
beginning
thing.
where they can get a hold of you. And the rest is let me roll up my sleeves and let's do it. And then that idea of bringing her in, and she was perfect because she was intelligent, right? That she knew her business, but she was able to articulate, and then it was so valuable that, and then how do you charge?
It's I right now I do mostly one-to-one.
Okay.
I have a couple of new programs that I'm launching. So
Okay.
the one-to-one coaching
Yes.
is the long-term engagement. It's a 12-month engagement. We meet once a week. That's like the high end.
And
But
what do
I
you
also-
charge by session? It's a package, or I'm just trying to find
I charge monthly.
monthly. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So-
good. So you get the cash. I always think of my business model, right?
Yeah.
Of the unit cash flow, right? And you
Yeah,
don't want to make it so much in the beginning that they think, why should I pay for a year? I don't even know how good you're going to,
But, some things you can see immediate results,
Yes.
but it's a business. Some
Right.
things are going to take a while before you see
Right.
the results
Right.
from it, which
Right.
is why it's a 12-month program.
Right.
And I have flexibility in the pricing. Like, yes, of course,
Yes.
I have a certain amount, and it is a high ticket offer.
Yes.
But I have flexibility in that I can charge them a flat monthly fee if
Okay.
it's higher than what they could normally make right
Right.
now.
Right. Right.
Down the
And then-
line, but we could do a rev share based on what we bring in together, where we
That,
can kind of balance that a little bit. So that gives
that's
me
a good
some.
idea because then you have you know that you have faith in your product too. You
Because
know.
then it's in my benefit as well
Right,
as
right,
theirs,
right,
right?
right. It's like a lot of times those wealth advisors where they say when you lose money we charge you, we charge you
Right,
less,
yeah.
right? And when you make money, no, it makes sense because that's
So,
why you're doing the marketing is right to increase their ROI. If it's not, it's not
yeah,
just for an
so
exercise.
that's, like my one-to-one is what I do the most of right now, but
Uh
I'm
huh.
launching fast track coaching, which is a different model
What
where
is
it's
that?
actually flat fee for the year. And it's like $9.97 for the year, which is super cheap. And it sounds like, are you serious? But you get 15-minute coaching sessions at a time, and you get specific action items after each coaching session. So you schedule the session for based on availability. You get a specific action item. You can't schedule the next session until you complete your action item. So it's kind of on the client
And how did
to
you
make
hear
sure
about
that
that? Is
they
that
get done.
popular now? Let me just get some.
I heard a couple people do it. I don't know that it's super mainstream yet, but I
Uh huh.
love the concept, so I'm launching it now in the next month.
Let me just get some water. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And, and it's good because you can kind of it gives the client it's a great way for them to try it out, and they're like, oh wait, I can't do this by myself. I can't hold myself accountable, and I need more, right? Or if they're fine with that, then it's on them to keep that schedule and make sure it keeps going because they paid for the whole year, right? Um,
I like it because also people don't have that much time. Like you can kind of take that 15 minutes, you can kind of bring that anywhere. But if I
mm-hmm.
say I'm going to give you 45, that's already I have to schedule something already in my schedule. So I like
Yeah,
that, and it's also kind of what people need. Just motivate me. It's
right.
almost
The
like
accountability. Yeah.
accountability, but almost like, meditation or even exercise. I look for things, hey, if it's 20 minutes, I can take out, or I do like a
Mm-hmm.
20-minute walk or something like that.
Yeah.
If you think
So
about it, wow, that's a really great.
yeah, I like it. I'm excited to get that started. And I think it's gonna be it kind of goes really well with how I do my coaching in general because it is really action focused and making sure that whatever we talk about, whatever we teach, it happens. It doesn't just leave the strategies here and ooh,
Yeah,
here it is, now go do it. No, like when is it gonna happen? Who's gonna do it? Putting the action to it, so it goes really well in line with that.
it's almost with even with mental health, right? Therapy that everybody almost it's almost like with anything, right?
Putting a
with diet.
milestone on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
So that's like my next thing that I'm launching. And other than that, I mean, I have other programs, but
And what about group?
yeah, it's coming as well.
What are you going to do there?
My first group will be a differentiator. So it's really why the heck should somebody choose you over anybody else? What makes you different? How how are you unique, and how do you turn that differentiation into profit? So it's is so important, and it doesn't matter if you're in business or just getting started or if you've been in business for 20 years, because it's rarely that I run into a business where they really have a differentiation over anybody else. But there is always a way to stand out over the competition. And once you have that, it makes everything you do so much easier. It makes marketing cheaper, it makes marketing more efficient, it makes sure you can charge more because you're unique in your market. So
Mm-hmm.
it plays into everything that goes on in your business. So if you have that done, so that would be like a 90-day group, basically.
Uh-huh. A 90, what did you say?
90 days, 12 weeks, 3 months.
12 weeks. And so it will be how long is a session?
Hour session a week.
Hour session a week, and you're doing it through Zoom?
Yeah.
And then you take you do similar to what you did when I saw you in that biz hack. Did you take someone from the audience, or how are you doing it there
It
differently?
will be a group, so it's going to be a lot of hands-on, people sharing with each other.
Uh-huh.
I not to get like competing industries or competing businesses in the group. So make sure everybody has a safe space and not feel like they're oversharing.
Uh-huh.
And so it will be, I have a back end system like an academy. So that will be included where there's like workbooks and video lessons and everything in addition to that. So there'll be exercises to do between our weekly sessions, and then we'll be sharing in our group sessions.
Okay, and then you do breakout rooms too, or no? And something like that.
Not so much. It might be in a couple of sessions where that makes sense, but for the most part, because it would be no more than 10 people in the group.
Oh, okay, so that's a group itself. Yeah, and also they want to hear from you.
Yeah.
I would think, yeah.
Well, they will hear from me, but also once they get familiar, they learn from each other.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and then they can do their tech.
Yeah.
And how do you get these people? That must be it.
Oh, that's the problem.
I know. I know. All of this sounds great, but you know that's the difference.
Yeah.
You know when what I do with my classes, I have a built-in audience, right? Right. Which is a difference. But what I do also at the same time is, I don't know if you do, through Zoom, you know, you can live stream. Did you know that? So on my sessions, what I do is I do Zoom and then I live stream to YouTube at the same time, so it doesn't have to be. So my students, what I teach them as well is they have to do the exact same thing I do. So they have to set up a YouTube channel, and then they do, for the regular Zoom, you don't get live stream, but we have the enterprise at the university. We have the enterprise version where you can live stream to Facebook or you live stream to YouTube. We do YouTube where we live stream, and then I was telling them, some of my people that want to see me, they can see me live on YouTube. And then I tell them also that you could have a way that you could do a differentiation, that in your live one-on-one you can charge, and then maybe through your YouTube you could charge another fee or even make it open, but they can't ask you questions, or they can't have it real, or they can't have it certificates or something like that. Yeah, that's the challenge, is where do you get these people?
So right now I have an email list, so I'm focusing on my email list, which has been a little bit neglected. So,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then that's another thing that it may be useful, where I've had other people, is that you can use my students as possible interns.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where they're doing
that's another side of my business as well, is I'm partnering with another lady that I've partnered with for years now, and we offer virtual assistant services. So we kind of recruit and vet virtual assistants it started just as a service to our clients, like, because at some point they're going to need help, and if they don't have it, the resources already in house, and then it just kind of expanded from there, from referrals and everything else. So that's another kind of arm of it. So we have
so if I needed your service in that, I need your services, what would I get?
We would recruit a virtual assistant for you, based on what you need.
You mean a human virtual assistant? Okay, all right. When a lot of times in these virtual assistants, it's
I know, mixing up the terms.
Well, right.
Virtual assistant.
Right, a human virtual assistant. Okay, but that human virtual assistant can use AI to do a lot of the tasks. Can use a lot of the intelligent agents. Yeah. So part of that task could be also that too, is that you could have those agents, having that set of lists for those agents to help. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's almost like blending together. Where does it form? Okay. So you're giving them, so basically you take the fee and then you pay the virtual assistant, or how's that?
Yeah, so the convenience to our clients is they don't have to worry about the recruiting. They just talk to us. They already know us. We know their business. And they tell us what they need. And then we go out and recruit. And we do all the interviews. We vet them.
Okay, because a number of my students do that, for a number of companies. Because when you think about it, I always tell my students, some of the things they know a lot better than I do. You know, like social media, a lot, they're on it much more than I am, you know, or things
Yeah.
that of
So
basically,
we handle like their payroll, and a lot of them are, you know, they're outsourced. Like the majority are in the Philippines right now that we work with. So
oh,
it's
okay, great. Okay, so you even get that for a lower cost, yeah.
yeah, and then we handle the payroll. We handle you know managing
Uh-huh.
that.
And how do you advertise that? How do people know
We
about?
don't advertise it. It's really just referral and word of mouth. Like I said, it's not a part of the business that we focus on. It just kind of grew naturally.
Uh-huh.
It is kind of getting its own little arm right now.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I wouldn't have think about that, you know.
yeah, no, it just started as a need of our clients, and it just kind of grew from
Uh-huh.
there.
Uh-huh. Okay. So that so that's interesting how we can do it. So I'm just thinking maybe we can do, so you understand kind of like what I think we have a lot of mutual
They're great. A
benefits,
lot
you
of
know,
exciting stuff. I
stuff,
love.
you know what I'm saying, and I also have guest speakers from around, since I do the virtual, I have guest speakers from around the world, so I can even invite you, you know, to
Mhm.
any of my classes if you want to, you know, if I think that I can let you know, you know, what's available where they can do it. And like some of these companies, like I say, I do a lot of what I do academic partnerships with a number of companies where I promote them. For instance, FastBot put on their website, you know, spot, you know, supported by the University of Miami, you know, or recommended by the, it gives them cachet, you know, in terms of one of
Yeah.
their clients. Wix, you know, why they use it is then their students, you know, our students, when they go into companies, they can recommend them. They know how they're doing it, and they know the full capabilities and
Yeah.
things like that. Because of, and I've been telling my students, you know, if somebody tells you, don't worry, you're going to be out of a job, you know, and they say don't worry about it. I said they're lying to you, because especially those jobs you aren't in. What if you can't work with that AI? You're in big trouble
That's where you
on
might
that.
exactly.
You know what I mean? But you can't have that aspect to it. So that's great. So maybe
Yeah, it's funny because you know,
what?
obviously I love coaching, but I've
Yeah.
also done a lot of like mentoring. I was a tutor for a digital marketing certification program for about a year or
Uh huh.
so, and I did, well, currently I work with BizHack for their cohorts when they run it. I'm one of the marketing coaches
Great.
during um, AI marketing
Uh huh.
cohorts.
Now you're living in Orlando.
Yeah. And then I have another organization that I've been mentoring for, the NASDAQ Center. It's been mainly for female entrepreneurs.
Uh huh. Yeah.
So I meet with their groups and mentor them like one on one. So it's, yeah.
Great, though they can do. And so what we're doing also, if you think about when I was like the 1-800 Chat GPT, we have research where we're doing what they call vanity phone numbers, just like 1-800 Chat GPT. It would be like
Yeah.
1-800 coaching, or coaching coaches are us, or AI coaching, and then this number here you can see here is Wismore Biz. We use
Oh, I
that
love
as an
that.
example, and that's the phone number, and that's your brain, and also your domain name expresses your, basically your brand.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is around your brand, and then maybe we could use you, I don't know, as a sample. We take, you know, companies, and that's part of our research, and what we want to see is which type of companies really basically profit from it
Gain
and
their
gain on
ROI.
and a gain in ROI. Basically,
Yeah.
just like what you were saying, that you take part of their additional revenues that they're getting. We're just looking which types of companies really work for that. Like for specialties like law practices of appellate courts, we find out doesn't work, but maybe in AI coaching it will, or in architecture, or certain areas. So if you're interested in being part of our research. We're just doing it as part of research. Many times companies get upset with us because they say, "Oh, we want it," and I said, "This is just part of our research. We're not doing it as a business." They're basically, "Oh, we basically are able to re-engineer the Google algorithm. It was just by doing automated trading that we found that little niche there." And then they get confused that we're just there for research purposes. So we're always looking for companies that we can pass on, that business to. Okay, so let's set up maybe another time where I can show you like the VAPI, like the voice, intelligent voice, and maybe you can take even like a company like this, that Wismore Biz, where it has the website, it has the vanity phone number, and we can do like a practice session on what you would be doing in the class or in any of our other conferences that we do. How does that sound?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so yeah, and so for instance, if you go to the search engine and type Wismore Biz, you can see that it's top of the search engine. So since we're the results page, the SERP that we talked about. So since we're running out of time right now, let's set up, or I can go to your calendar, I guess, and set up a time. Would that be?
On my calendar. Yeah.
I'll put it on my calendar. I'll see where mine's set. I'm supposed to be going to Las Vegas too for their AI conference. And maybe in between, but I want to do it. Our classes begin on the 18th of August. So I'd like to, but we don't start until a month after, but I'd like to do it sometime in August to set that up and basically do a dress rehearsal, and then also share with you what we're doing. And, and then we can see if we can get a virtual number for you, that, and see if, and maybe you see if that improves your ROI.
Right.
And what type? Yeah, that's the thing. I know it really. It's like the shoemaker, right? So you need time. You even need people to help you even promote yourself. But I think one of the
so competitive now.
I know, and everybody in the world is an AI expert, right? And
exactly that too.
That, and also people don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it. So do you sell like when you give that, you give them like a booklet or something, or scripts, or what do you give them?
You mean from the AI presentation I did?
Yeah, no, or just in general, in the coaching, do they get, do you sell like a booklet or?
No, like I say, I have a back-end like academy with like workbooks and videos and things like that. So you buy the program, there's nothing else to buy. So they get everything else they get for free. They get full access to the back-end system.
And when you say academy, you're working with another vendor on that, or?
It's it is a third party, like a coaching system, and between us, I'm going through like a lot of changes in my business right now.
Okay.
Because I am like moving away from that.
Okay.
And they kind of own my website and everything as well. So I'm
you got to get away.
It all over.
Yes.
And building up my own back-end system and resources so I can move away from that. I mean, I love it. It's not that, but I want to control.
Yeah. You want the control, and also you want the profits too.
Yeah. So it's a lot of work. So I'm kind of a little bit of a restructure happening.
Okay.
Because just to build that back up. But in the meantime, I do still have full access to that academy, which I created a lot of the assets that are in there. So it's.
But do you own those assets?
Huh?
Do you own those assets once you have
No,
them?
I don't. I did it on their behalf. So. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, definitely, because I can see that.
I can do it again, right?
Yeah, but you can do it again. But definitely, I could see it as a product too.
Yeah. No, that's.
No,
why,
you know what I'm saying? That people. Yeah, you need to be your own product. Hey, we have these, these books that we can sell, and if you sell 1 million of them, and even for $5.
By the end of the year, so it's a lot happening right now.
Yeah, okay, great. I can't help but put on my hat,
I know.
my mentor hat to help, helping each other.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, why don't I do this? I'll set up another time so you'll know maybe we can split it where half the time you can kind of we can use kind of like WizMoreBiz as the example, and then the other half I'll show you some of the things that we're doing, like the virtual numbers and things like that maybe you can try out and see if it works for you, and some of the things. What's nice about a lot of these virtual numbers, what's nice is you can just put in the prompts. You know what I mean? You don't have to program. You can say, hey, when it answers, this is, coaching or whatever. We provide these services, and if you want more information, we can help you. And it's like a little voice chat bot, and then you can even send them to other places, if you want.
Yeah.
Set up a calendar, you can have a meeting with me or something like that and see how it is. And then you could give that service out too.
Yeah. No, that's very cool. I love that.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at it as an educational, but you can say, hey, you can charge for that service. I belong to this Women in Technology, and they have every week they have a partner. I was telling them about it, and this guy said, oh, I can sell that to my clients.
Yeah,
He as marketing, right? You can sell that as a way to see it and see where it fits. Okay.
A lot of like coaches and consultants, one thing they use with their coaching, like especially if they have group programs or something, use Voxer, like audio, where you can leave audio messages. So it's not a call, but you leave audio messages to each other, right? And I can see this being a great replacement for Voxer, where you can get that semi-support, if you will.
Right, and semi-support, and then you can change it, and you can, and some of them you can make it quite elaborate. With my students, we were just doing like the very superficial, but you really can get in there and program it, where you say, almost like the IVR, press 1 for our marketing team, 2, but then this is done virtually, and for right now, it's done for free. Whether it's going to continue being free, it's a startup in San Francisco, but there's other companies that give it, so it's basically an intelligent caller IDs.
Right.
That you get a number that is programmable. That basically think about it, that your number right now, if I called your cell, right, it's not programmable. You can put a voice message to it, but it's not programmable in that aspect where it can do it, where these numbers a number of companies sell those numbers. Where you get, just like you get another one, and then you add those LLMs to it and program it.
Really well hand in hand if you create, like I started creating like my custom GPT for me as a coach, being a custom GPT. I can give away to
right, like your avatar. When we were talking about your virtual assistant, your AI assistant, right? That acts like your avatar that answers on behalf. I was thinking of the same thing as what I'm going to be using next semester, and I've done is I have teaching assistants, but I'm going to end up having my virtual teaching assistant where I'll call them in, right, to answer questions, right? Just like we talked about that 1-800-CHAT-GPT, you didn't think about it, but you could just call it, right? And that was done as an afterthought on a hackathon. I work with a number of these folks. They did that hackathon, and one of their employees said, hey, why don't we do 1-800-CHAT-GPT? They got that number, and it's really them. And then they say they have a limited time. They'll give you 15 minutes, and you have so many minutes per month. But it's a good way to even tell you, what do we call it, those caller IDs mean? 1-800-CHAT-GPT. It's just ChatGPT is that model, versus the other one is going to be your model. Right. That you'll put in your own prompts, like your customized chat GPT. Okay, well that was wonderful. I'm so glad to meet.
Great to meet you. Thank you for reaching out.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll set up then a time where we can you can think about it as almost a dress rehearsal of what you'll share with my classes, and then you could even come in and do different things for each class and get even almost use my class. Sometimes I tell people is you can even use them as a focus group, where you have to pay a focus group. You're not doing it of what do you think about this idea versus this idea, or practice this one. You can think about practicing this one versus another. You can think about it in a number of ways, because that's what I'd like to show them is the textbooks are irrelevant. Things are changing so quickly. They have to reimagine themselves, and that's where the groups is each of them. And then what we do, just I wanted to give you one more, is they go reach out to real companies, and then they can help them too. So they could reach out to a market and say, we can do your website, we can do your chatbot, we can do a podcast for you. So they already have things that they know how to do. Also, in the very beginning, my students are experts on Zoom. They create polls. They know how. I said that's the first week. They know how to. They get their own YouTube accounts. They know how to stream live. Where most people, all they know is just to be as a participant. They know the whole back end, and use it. And then they use Zoom's, summary feature.
I love that. It's so practical, just, straight up practical knowledge.
Right. That's what that's what they come away with. And when I ask them, what was great about the class, they say, oh, that class was great. And, I don't need accolades. I said, what was so valuable? And then they'll tell me things like that, or they use Notebook LM for their tests, Yeah. That's what I have them do is I have them practice on their tests and do summary, and then they can walk around and hear the podcast of review for their tests. So many things. Okay, great. So I'll set up a time to meet. We'll go over the part, and then we think about it. Think about how I can help you. That's what I think all the world is about.
I think you give me so many ideas right now, so.
Yeah, so I'm just saying you'll have some.
Hone in on what's
right, and we can even think about it as step by step, just like you're doing the your thing of that 15 minutes or weekly. Think about it, so it'd be great. Okay, yeah. Wonderful. Nice to meet you, Anita.
You too.
Please.
Thank you.
Okay.
Stay
Talk
cool.
to you later. You too.
Bye.
Bye.